Chad Remington here, your lead expert part of the prestigious Diamond Dynasty League. We're going to try to power through a video here. We're really late. We apologize. We got a little sidetracked on weeks and stuff when they should happen. We, anyway, we're going to try to make this video as fast as possible, honestly. I don't think too much has changed from week 11. I think we were pretty accurate in a lot of stuff. Um, but So we're going to keep these 8 non-playoff teams the same for this sake. We'll evaluate their dynasty rankings. I think a lot of things will stay the same, honestly, though. Feel like the last few weeks haven't been too crazy. We've just checked out of some fantasy football for multiple reasons. Maybe when all your fantasy teams lose, you just kind of check out for a couple weeks. But in the finals, we got the matchups of Aaron and Dean, and then third place game is Brad and Tyler. Um, you know, if we look at our last week's ranks, we got Aaron and Dean in the top 2 of the 3. And then we have Tyler and Brad. We had Brad down here. Tyler's up here. Pretty much the gist of it is Steve got pretty darn unlucky / upset here, and that other than that, we're pretty accurate in our rankings type of thing. And we did say Brad's team can, they're a scary team during this week. During this week's rankings, we said Brad is a team that can kind of blow up at any time with having Josh Allen, and Tyreek, etc. And it's a scary team to hit, and he definitely hit to get to the spot he's in now for at least the third place game at least. So, anyway, we'll go down the power rankings. I think we'll go playoff teams quick here. So we'll start with Dean's team in the championship right now for going back to back, trying to go back to back. We have Burrow, Singletary, who's actually had a pretty underrated, pretty solid year, really stepped up. Derrick Henry's out. Justin Jefferson's been still murdering it. Cooper has kind of cooled down, I think. Yeah, he's definitely cooled down a bit. Still having a good year, though. Hawkinson's went insane. This is probably one where the dynasty value is like, okay, maybe he's not terrible on the line type of thing. Juju has been pretty somewhat disappointing. This dude has been actually murdering in the flex spot somehow for getting touchdowns galore. This guy was a free agent last year, just FYI, for like most of the year, I'm pretty sure. Dobbs, whatever his name is, coming back from the injury has been, not as great as we like. And honestly, he's back healthy though at least. So, QB situation, he's got Purdy, which is actually pretty good. We already talked about Derrick Henry, is going to be taken out of this game. Renfro is having a terrible year. This is definitely something bad. So anyway, not too much. We got CEH, Damian Pierce being hurt. Definitely hurts things for you. I think we put Dean's been actually killing the playoffs. I think he definitely deserves, post this week 16, last few weeks. I gotta put Dean in the number 1 spot actually, just because his team has been absolutely murdering it. They're on a hot streak right now. And for Dynasty, I think I'm just gonna keep him in this 2 spot. I don't think I'm gonna change too much about Dynasty. I mean, what more needs to be said? He's trying to go back to back right now. We'll go down here. We'll go to Steve's team. So Steve's pretty unlucky for sure not to be in the last few games of the season. But Herbert, slowly getting it together. Just kidding, not slowly getting it together. I don't know anything. He didn't throw any touchdowns. That sucks. I think he's looked okay, though. The offense, I think they're going to change the coach. Long story short is a lot of things are going to happen. A lot of changes I think are going to happen on that side. Delvin Cook's been solid. Aaron Jones has been all right, I think. Pretty bad last game. Green Bay, there's a lot of question marks. Is like Chargers, Green Bay. Keenan Allen was a great trade. We kind of didn't like that trade, but we were wrong. But unfortunately, it didn't really help his chances of championship. It really should have. So it was a good trade, but maybe that second round pick would be nice now. But I think Keenan Allen comes back next year and is healthy and is fine. So Mike Evans has been on a huge touchdown not streak. I know that. So still like Mike Evans. Just getting older though. The team's getting slightly older, and it sucks that Steve didn't win a championship. But I still think his team's in a good spot with a bunch of young players. Brady's been all right, but not very good. Who knows if he comes back next year? Um, Herbert's back, been healthy, or now healthy. Dame Harris has not been fantastic. Kind of in a weird situation with that all. I still obviously really like Steve's team. I think he did have the best team. I think he's definitely deserves number 2 spot. Before we had him in the 8 spot, this is tough. I'm just gonna keep him the same. Because a lot of these players are still young. I think it sucks that his team didn't win a championship this year when I really think it should have. Um, there's still a lot of young good players on this team though. We're gonna try to move on here. Excuse me. Kev's team. Now this team is getting old. This team is definitely still at this spot in the Dynasty, in the 16th spot. Rodgers has fallen apart. Who knows what happens to him? Chubb's hurt, which sucks. Eckler's having a great year. I just don't know what's going on with the Chargers. I think it'll be positive. I think Eckler's been proven he's very good. These receivers, Mike Williams has been battling injury. He had that one good week though. Looks like he's kind of healthy-ish now. I still like Mike Williams, just very injury prone. And Njoku got hurt, I know, and still really isn't done. He had one good game and then hurt again. Really, the last 2 weeks, these playoff weeks were rough for you, Kev. Damn. Mozart has been all right. Mason Hill. I mean, yeah, I don't think this team unfortunately is at the end of its line and did not win a championship, kind of like Steve's. Um, or I mean, based on last 2 weeks, we definitely got to put him probably right here. We got to move him down a spot. Um, we already did Dynasty. We'll move on. We're gonna try again, make this quick. Ryan's team, the quarterback situation was really, I think, kind of hurt him. Um, just rough, unfortunately. Still has Baker though, who's looked all right. Honestly, think maybe he has some future. McCaffrey's looked great. ETN is really Jaguars have been cruising, but he hasn't looked that good, honestly. I mean, he's been okay these last few games, but this stretch sucked. I hated this stretch. Um, I think he's looked okay though. McLaurin, the Washington offense has actually been all right, and McLaurin and Dotson have been killing it. I think they get a QB upgrade later, so I think this is still going to be very, like, McLaurin's still going to be very good. I think Slayton's caught, yeah, nothing out of Slayton, really. Higbee is pretty much sucks at all. Rams offense is a mess right now. Kirk has been super underwhelming for how good the Jags offense has been in my eyes. Yeah, only getting a couple targets. It's been very weird. I still like them. Fournette's been not looking good. Tannehill's been hurt. Jimmy's been hurt. Your QE situation is wildly bad. Unfortunately, Andy Dalton has been okay, except last week, obviously. Still have Tyler Lockett, Debo. I mean, yeah, you kind of went through a rough spot in the playoffs. Still have the first round pick, so I think we keep. I really like Ryan's young core of players. I think it's very good. Um, I'm gonna move him. I think we're gonna move him down one here. He had the rough QB spot. The wide receivers kind of falling off. MVS, Lenny kind of I think fell off. No, he had a really good game. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I haven't been paying attention to shit the last few weeks. I've been on quite the bender, if you know what I mean. Um, Maybe this is a Ryan Kev could probably be switched to like anything right here. I really like Ryan at 6 though. Um, Tyler had a really good team. He hit a lot of injuries, and yeah, the entire Rams wide receivers that he had all got injured. I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry, but that's kind of funny. Mac Jones. I mean, he's Mac Jones. He's got Zappy now. Kamara has looked terrible in my eyes, but he's been producing at least. I don't think he's looked good though. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Um, this guy has not been as all he's been bound up to be, but he did have good last week. Still didn't get him a win though. St. Brown has been good. Still looks solid. Still the young. He's really stepped up this year. CD has been amazing. He's running away with that trade, like we said. That second should never have been thrown in. We're not going to go down that line, though. Stevenson has looked solid. He's been banged up, though. A lot of injuries have really hurt him. Hopkins doing absolutely nothing. This is that zone offense. Who the fuck knows what's going on with that? Zappy, Jordan Love, Tua being hurt obviously has hurt him a lot. Or being injured mid-game essentially with the concussion. Robinson, how's he doing? Just to check in on our. Oh, okay. Yeah, people were saying he was good. Weird. Okay. Um, Pretty weak bench here. I still think his team was good. He just really battled the injuries here. I think we'll put him at 5 here. Dynasty wise, where did we have him? We had him at 3. Um, Tua being hurt hurts a lot. Kamara Mixon not really stepping up towards the end of the season. It's tough to keep him the same, honestly. Um, he does have CD Lamb who's stepped up now though. I'm gonna move him down 1, maybe we'll move him down to 4. That's generous. I think he maybe could be 5 right now. All right, going on. Aaron in the finals against Dean. Hurts. Rashad White looks like he's gonna be really good for this year and next year. Honestly, Barkley has been a solid trade. I think. Yeah, that's been murdering for him. Really good trade for him there. For this, got him to where he is right now. Diggs, Devontae without Carr is going to be wild and weird. I don't know what to think about this. He's sucked these last 3 weeks, which hurts a lot. Pickens has not really done too much. He had a touchdown last game. Not getting too many targets. I think he's looked good though. Waddle's been really stepping up. He's looked good. He's looked good too. Tua being hurt though, I guess there's a lot of question marks. The youth of this team though is still very good. The receivers are pretty nuts between Diggs, Devontae, Pickens, Waddle. Fields on the bench. Honestly, I'd probably start him this week if I were you, but what do I know? I'm just an expert who's out of playoffs in every single league because I lost first round and everything. I'm not angry. Sebastian Rashad, Eli, Javante. Still, I mean, there's still a lot. This team is honestly super good. He keeps us one spot for sure. I think we move him down, even though he's in the finals. I'm sure he didn't have a good last week, but had a good first week, obviously, to get to where he is, I think. So 3rd is probably a good spot for Aaron. Eric, the whole sneak in the playoffs, just snuck in. That's what we're gonna say. Dobbins has actually been looking all right. Maybe it was just these 2 good games, not too much. Not too good the last game. Michael Carter, I think, is still a serviceable, great backup flex spot. It's maybe shouldn't be the wide receiver 2 right now, but he's got or running back 2, but he is a starting running back right now. So A.J. Brown's been murdering it. Goddard's just came back from injury. Kirky, I think, has been actually all right. Yeah. Oh my God, better than all right. It's honestly, Eric is pretty unfortunate that he didn't get further into the playoffs. His team has been actually cooking pretty well. And I didn't just say that because Brandon Cook's on his team. God, I'm so funny. Cooks being out has definitely not helped. He came back. I don't know how. I haven't paid attention to shit lately. James Conner has been actually pretty darn good. He's been the only bright spot in that Arizona offense. Dotson has been catching touchdowns like a maniac. He's wild with touchdowns. Lamar being hurt's been really the injuries and just kind of the injuries, lack of depth, unfortunately, and then injuries really kind of hurt Eric. A lot of it is honestly looking fantastic for the future. This season sucks though. That he's just kind of fallen off and been hurt. I don't think this is a fair Eric. This is kind of a giant tier to me. I could have swapped anybody. That's not what I wanted to do. I really could have swapped anybody here, and they could be fine. But Anyway, we'll go on. Um, Eric, I still think has a very promising team between Dobbins, AJ Brown, Connor, Dotson, Olave. It's pretty good. I really like Eric's squad. I'm gonna put him here. I'll put him at 10. He's got a lot of young core. Still, Lamar will come back fine next year, in my opinion. We'll move on. Last playoff team, Brad in the third place team. I think Ford's actually a really good spot for him without even reviewing his team. Let's review his team though. Josh Allen, Zeke, Pollard's out. Zay Jones had an absolute wild first week. Really the giant reason for an upset against Steve's team. Tyreek is Tyreek. Is he the wide receiver one? Wide receiver two. Mark has absolutely fallen off a cliff. He's still tight end 5. I think next year he'll be fine. Thielen, I mean, just not a bad team. Again, kind of boomer bust. We talked about Melvin being out. Madison, let's see what he does next year. Blackshear could actually be all right for next year potentially. Shakir, I think he's only had one good week. Maybe he's not as good as I thought either. Likely is unfortunately fallen off too. Like the Ravens offense has just been rough. Tolbert has been done absolutely nothing, which is pretty wild. I was pretty high on this guy too. I'm glad my close friend didn't draft him. I think 4 spots good for Brad. I think Zeke and Pollard is looking so good for next year. I don't know. I guess I don't know if he's gonna be good for next year. I want to see what happens with Pollard. Josh Allen's still crazy. Tyreek's just getting older. Mark Andrews, I think, will come back. I think this team has the ability to just bounce back. Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. He's about as unsexy as it gets. There's a lot of question marks as like what could happen, like Madison, Gordon, Blackshear. I think Claypool might be all right next year. Likely question mark. I think this is what did I have Brad at here, which is what 14. I'm gonna keep him here. This is probably very severe, and I think Brad could probably go all the way up to here based on those question marks. We're gonna keep moving on. So that's these. We've covered everyone. I think Aaron and Dean are really set up for the future still, and it's crazy they're in the championship right now. So good for them. Honestly, every playoff team currently is pretty well set for the future. I think, like we said, Eric looks good. I think this is harsh for Eric, and then Brad, I could have put out like even here. I think Steve I could put higher. So I think all the current playoff teams are honestly looking pretty good for future. We'll go on to just the dynasty part of these teams. Kyle, Colt McCoy. And I know he's got Kyler somewhere. DeAndre Swift. This dude is a stud, but it's been weird. A.J. Dillon, another question mark with I think he looks good. I think A.J. Dillon looks nice. But he's surviving on touchdowns essentially. So without these touchdowns, he's not looking great. 36 yards, 2 touchdowns, 20 points. Obviously, you got the touchdowns there, right? Big question mark. I'm not going to keep saying that he's a question mark. Devontae Smith has really stepped up. Still, I don't think he's a wide receiver 1, but the Eagles' offense is rolling. Deontay Johnson has not had. He's had. Oh, okay, this is pretty. He's had a lot of targets. His looks solid. I still don't know about Kenny Pickett. Going back to Brad's team too, I don't really like Kenny Pickett, but maybe I'll be wrong there. Cole Kmet has been not terrible and not good. Treylon Burks has looked flashed at times. He has battled injuries, and the Titans' offense passing attack has been pretty rough. So, still kind of a question mark to me. I'm sure Cobb leaves him, and that's fine. I don't hate either way. This guy's been okay. Not a good last game, but been pretty solid. Coming out of nowhere and being a free agent here. Even Hodgins coming has been pretty solid. High snap rate, a lot of targets last game. I think again a free agent. So Kyle's really doing good on these kind of like quote unquote worthless free agents. I'd say. I don't know how to classify them. They've really stepped up, so he's got a lot of good value. Davis and Mills has been benched, and you take those 24 points, from there. But honestly, pretty underwhelming year for a starting quarterback in his second year. Going back to Goff, Davis Mills trade, Goff is actually, for sure the winner of that trade in my eyes. We'll see what happens next year, though, with both those guys still. Um, Guinea Nwagu, he's not playing, unfortunately. Samir White, next year, the Raiders, I don't know what the hell's going to go on with this offense, but I think a lot of those people are going to be leaving. Zamir is going to be staying, so that's good. For him, I'd say he'd be a focal point of the offense. Devonta Park being hurt. Tyquan Thornton is, again, kind of flashes. High snap rate, though, the last few games, which is good. These aren't good stats, though. 255 yards per catch, not good. Boomer bust, question mark. I think there was a point in the season where a lot of these guys were clicking, and then now these last few weeks they've really went down. So Landry, we're gonna skip Landry. We know how I feel about that guy. The Bateman trade. We knew that he wasn't gonna play at all. So we got 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, which is gonna be a back 4 pick, and a first-round pick, which is a back 4 pick, unfortunately for Kyle. I have. I don't. It's not. I think we're just gonna keep Mir. I think he can be up, he can be down. There's a lot of question marks again. I don't know. There are question marks because I don't know what's gonna happen. As much of an expert as I am, this is where I'm gonna put you. Or it could be up here though. As much of an expert I am, I don't know what I'm saying right now. We need a drink of water. Brian's team. Patty Mahomes, McKinnon has had absolutely been murdering it. I don't know how his team's been doing it, but I think we're lucky. Some people are lucky Brian didn't make the playoffs. Actually, Brad was the last spot, and he's picked. I don't know. I think Brian could be exactly where Brad is right now, potentially. Kenneth Walker, he's arguably the top rookie right now. I don't know. Gallup, I don't know how he's been. Not good, not great. Ayuk has looked good in my eyes. Dalton Schultz has sucked. I hate this guy. F that guy. Jamal Williams has been a huge pickup. Godwin, how have you been? You've been alright. Tampa Bay has just been, I don't know, very good players here. Renner getting the chance to play did not look great, to say the least, but I still think he has a chance to be all right in the future and be a good quarterback. Brian Robinson, I still think has a very bright future. Sutton, Tony, I like Tony. He hasn't really looked great. They haven't used him a lot. AO has fallen off. Troutman has not really been doing much. Ridley, Sherman, first round picks. I think Brian's team is unfortunately, there's been certain players that went up and there's certain players that went down the last few weeks. I'm going to probably put Brian right here. I'm going to drop him a little bit. I still like his team, though. I still think there's a lot of bright spots on this team. This is going to be the worst video I think I've ever made. We're gonna try to wrap this bad boy up. Derek Carr being benched, not good for Brownlee. I still think he will be fine next year. I think he will be somewhere and he's a starting quarterback in the NFL in my eyes. Pacheco has been okay. I think he's had a solid rookie season. I think he looks good. T. Higgins has been murdering the game. I think that was probably a good trade for Brown. I think that involved the trade. Tyler Boyd has been whatever. I don't like Tyler Boyd. Jasicki has been sucking. Yep, he's been worthless. A tight end. You need a tight end pretty bad for this team. But this depth is terrible. Your team is gross. Russell Wilson has sucked. Your QB situation is not bad. I think Derek Carr and Wilson will be fine. You don't need. It's not like you need to draft a quarterback or anything like that in my eyes. I think your quarterback situation is fine. It's the tight ends, running backs that need some help, and just the depth of your team. I think you have a lot of first round picks to help this, though. Yeah, 3 first rounds, a mid second, and a late second in your second. Late second, late. These being late for you is rough, unfortunately. Sorry about that. I still think you'd be able to plug these. I'll plug a lot of these holes with those picks. So I think your team is looking okay for sure. I don't think right now I can't draft. I can't grade your draft picks without seeing them, obviously, but I think you'll be able to fill some nice holes there. So we're gonna put you at 15 for Dynasty, but I think um, we're not gonna try to overvalue draft picks, to say the least. Chris's team. Geno Smith, hell of a pickup. Kyron Williams, we really like Kyron. He hasn't really done too much, but I think he's looked okay. That Rams offense is just rough. Josh Jacobs might be the number one priority running back for a team next season. I'd bet he's thanking his lucky stars that the Raiders didn't pick up his fifth option. As dumb as they look, so dumb. How's Terrace? He's doing okay. He's pumping along, chugging along. Still some hope in there. This guy's been nuts. That was a hell of a worthless free agent pickup for you. DPJ, I like DPJ. I think he's looked good. Obviously didn't have a good last game, but has had some good games. Chenault has not done anything. Yeah, unfortunately. Trevor Lawrence has looked really good. Really coming together. This is really going to boost your team for me, in my opinion. If the headset wasn't out, I was going to probably chug a fifth and then anyway, I should say stuff. We're on YouTube. Trevor Lawrence is a huge thing for you. I don't see where I put you at. I think I want to put you. This is probably perfect. I'm going to put you right here. I really like Trevor Lawrence. He's looked really good. I think this is a big step up for your team. You really just need running backs and wide receivers, which is a lot of task, but Noah Fant, Henry Shot, Ray McLeod. We got Jameson Williams. Get him the ball. I still believe in him a lot. Ingram has looked actually, I think, not great, but I still think there's a lot of promise for him. I don't know why they're not giving him the ball. I guess Connor's looked really good, so it kind of makes sense. Early first, mid first, your first. I mean, this is running back, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, and your team is going to look young and good. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence tight end does need it. I don't know. Everett has been didn't. I don't know what happened last game. Yeah, between Jacobs, you need some wide receivers. You have Jameson though. I think this is tough. I know I'm kind of overvaluing your picks right now, which I just did the opposite to Brownlee. So, which is not fair to Brownlee, obviously. So, we'll move you down a spot. Trevor Lawrence stepping up, I think, moves you up a spot in my book. Who did we skip? Oh, whoops, we skipped this one of team. Zach Wilson. I do not know what to say further about Zach Wilson. I don't know if he's going to go somewhere next year. We're going to find out. I think he needs they surrounded talent around him, but he needs I think a better coach around him, a QB, a whisper coach type of thing. Gainwell's actually looked all right. I don't know what the plan is for him next year with Miles Sanders. I think Jordan Mason's actually looked really good, but he's behind CMC and Eli Mitchell, so I don't know. Kind of wild card. Garrett Wilson this is probably the best draft pick of the rookie draft in my eyes. Even with Zach Wilson being shitty, he's had a very good year. Him and Olave have been the top wide receivers. This guy was like the 6th pick. and Olave was like the 7th. So I think those are like the best. I should say they're the best value picks of the draft from the season before. Metcalf, I think, has looked all right. Seattle's kind of fallen off. Their offense is kind of struggling. He's looked okay though. I mean, a lot of targets. Look good. I don't know how Hunter Bryant's been. Not good. With Njoku back. Alex Pierce has been very on or off. There's no in between with him. I think Indy's offense has been rough. I think they will get a quarterback, and he has a lot of potential. Bray Wall, skip him. Jamar is Jamar. I love this guy. But Teagan's also seeing a lot of target stuff because Teagan's a monster. Mark White, at least, or Mike White, I always mess up. He might be the starting quarterback for the Jets next year. Who knows? This bench sucks. Hey, shout out Tyler Batty. Just got signed by Denver. Shout out Tyler Batty. I'm rooting for you, man. I think this Malik Davis, I'm spending way too much on players that just don't matter. Is actually okay. We'll see what happens with Tony and Zeke next year. Kyle Pitts, Brees Hall, Kyle Phillips, Jerome on the bench. Jerome Ford has a lot of potential. Honestly, a lot of other question marks though. I would say with this team as well. To summarize, early first, hopefully for my good old funny friend. Mid first, early-ish second, mid second, early second. I mean, a good amount of draft picks that fill a lot of holes. There's wide receiver core is very good. Running backs suck. Quarterbacks suck. Could probably use another wide receiver though because why not? Because you trade away CD because he's a moron and wanted to make his team worse. Where do we have him before? We have him at 10. We'll swap him in Eric. That's fair. All right, moving on. Evans team. Goff. Let's see what they do next year. But I think he's still gonna be the quarterback. I don't know. I think he gets maybe one more year, and then goes from there. Very good year. Sanders looked really good in the Eagles offense. Elijah Moore is kind of coming back alive in a way. I'm a big fan of his talent. DJ Moore is coming back alive too. I think a lot of your people are coming back alive after a pretty rough year overall. Kittle is, my summary of Kittle is he's one of my, if not my favorite football player, fantasy player. I hate him, but he has proved me so wrong these last 2 weeks in fantasy football. Producing like an absolute madman. I won't go further. Drake London, I think, kind of looks good. Snap rate, targets are good. The whole Atlanta offense kind of taking a hit. Firmuth still like Simon Knight is actually kind of a good worthless pickup here. Has looked like a good backup. We'll see what he does next year. Deshaun Watson just needs some time to get back into groove. It's obviously what happens when you do some things and you can't play football for a long time. Jonathan Taylor, JT, got hurt. Came back to life in the season. So I think he is kind of back to being himself. Just got hurt though, which kind of sucks. Hopefully he recovers from that. KJ Osborne has looked very good as a wide receiver 3. I think he steps in that wide receiver 2 role. Craig Dulcich, big fan of him. He's hurt, but I really like Evans' team. Trey Lance, who knows what's going on with Purdy and Jimmy G and all that stuff next year. A big question mark. Michael Thomas, another giant question mark. This guy's always been a question mark. No first or second round pick though. That is rough. I do like Evans' team. This is like not valuing. I have you third. This is probably pretty high. I think we're gonna do this before we forget though. We're gonna put a mark there. It's a pretty big step down in my eyes. From the top 2, from like Evan and Tyler, Ryan, Chris Bryan. We're gonna go on. Matt Sneak team. We only have 2 spots. We do. Dak. I think Dak's looked pretty solid. He's not really running the ball, I think. I could be wrong about that. Rushing. Hey, look at this. Just kidding. He's starting to run the ball. Look at these 30s. This way, so you don't pay attention though. Sorry, I should have known this. But he's starting to run the ball, get points. Good Dak. Not running the ball, not good points. You know, hey, no rushes, no good points, right? No, just kidding. I like Dak. Cam's coming back alive. I don't know how. I'm not gonna go on. I don't know how Cam Akers coming back, but he's coming back. Dave Montgomery has looked all right. I don't know what happens with him next year though. Um, I like David Bell, but he really hasn't done anything this year. I think we'll see next year. Christian Watson, we have been so wrong about. We were so right for so long about this guy, and then we were just wrong. And he tore us a new one as far as him being better than Dobbs. He is kind of back to. I think he's kind of hurt, so he's been kind of struggling. But props Christian Watson, uh, proving us wrong for sure. Very promising future. Um, This team falls off hard, though. We kind of knew that. Henderson being cut. Pierre Strong, I think, has some promise. Yeah, so pretty rough team right now. But we got Aaron's first, which is going to be a late first, unfortunately, for him. Mid second. So we have some picks. I think Matt probably was right. Between Dak, Cam coming back, Christian Watson stepping up, I feel like I want to put him down because I don't like his team, but they all stepped up, so I'm going to keep him the same. This is, again, yeah, this is the highest tier, so I was probably generous. I think we'll keep him at that top of tier. All right, last one. David. Um, Darnold. Benjamin. Nahaji. This team. Nahaji's actually been, I think, been okay. This team is as rough as Jason's for this year. Nahaji's coming back to life, though, so I respect that. Judy's been hurt, but I think he's looked very good. Yep. Big fan, Jerry Judy. Ingram got him the absolute monster 39 points, which really didn't help his draft lottery stuff, but has really come together. Again, Jacksonville offense is, and he's been a huge part of it. Um, the rest of this team, I'm just not. Sky Moore is, I still believe in Sky Moore. He looks terrible on the stat sheet, but I think he, like, when he gets the ball, he looks good. Um, Who are your quarterbacks? Stafford. I think Stafford will be fine next year. It's not like you desperately need a quarterback. Um, Honestly, I think Sam Darnold is kind of a starting quarterback in the NFL, so he's, or at least a very top-notch backup. So I think you don't really need a quarterback here, which I think is a big thing in this league. Is my summary of going through all these teams. So whether you need a quarterback, you don't. I think most teams really don't need a quarterback. Um, but anyway, Gibson has been, I think, a little banged up. He's kind of fallen off. I don't know. I love Gibson. I still love him. I think he's looked good. Tyler Algier, I think maybe that trade is actually going to work out for you. He's been on quite a tear. He's got 817 yards, 100, like, underrated season from Tyler Algier. He doesn't really look good, but 4.92 yards carry is pretty good. He's really stepped it up. Yeah, 6, 5, 5, 8, 4. I mean, it's good. He's really turned around, and that offense has been pretty struggling. This guy Rashid Shaheed has looked pretty freaking good. I will give credit to this guy. Um, Team's rough though. Chase Edmonds. I don't know why I have your team so high. I'm probably gonna put him down here. I'll put Kyle up one you here. Your team doesn't look great, but where are the picks at? We got your first, which should be a high first. So stud running back, stud receiver here. Stud receiver is probably the most beneficial. Your receiver's below, and your running back strike's pretty solid. It would be nice to get some more picks. You have next year's. Yeah, we're definitely gonna. Sorry, Dave. You know I love you. We're gonna put you down here. I don't know. I think Brad's team is probably a little better off right now. But you have this early pick. I guess we'll see what that pick turns into, right? All right, that's it. We're gonna wrap it up. So we got to tier these. I think we do the same thing, and then we're gonna Brown. Yeah, we're gonna do. I mean, this is the exact. Yeah, it's the exact same tier we just did last season. How many do we really? We don't really change too much around. This is kind of a waste of a video. Minor swaps. As far as things go. So we'll leave it at that. I think it'll be more fun to do a post rankings after the draft, where there's maybe some trades and the actual draft happens. As far as predicting, I do think third place game first. That's not the third place game. I think Worris's team pulls this off against Brad's team with Pollard out. It hurts Brad a lot. I don't know if he really has somebody he can put in. Let's see. Chase Claypool, I think I kind of remember from memory. There he is. Maybe he's all right. But we're gonna go Tyler's here. Dean and Aaron. I would play Fields over Hurts, but it's tough not to play Hurts. He's absolutely monster this year. Henry out really evens this matchup pretty much. I don't know how Haskins gonna do. I think it's a big opportunity for him to step up. I think overall your bench is much better though. I gotta go Dean for the repeat. I think it's gonna be obviously super close. That's it. All right, we're gonna stop. Love y'all. Have a great one.